Hi there, welcome to another episode of Around the Emirates with Sara Mousa. I'm here with a special guest, Omar.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. For those of you that don't know, Omar is CEO of Edelman Middle East. You can see we're filming in our offices here today. So, Omar, I am so happy you're finally on the show. I've been chasing him for I'd say, 2 odd months?
I think a bit more, to be brutally honest.
A little bit more. Perfect. So, tell me about why you got into the PR industry.
So, despite all my family being engineers, my father worked for Aramco, my brother's an engineer,
Okay.
my uncle was engineers. I was the one that slightly did something different and studied politics and history.
Okay.
And from there, I was given the opportunity to work for the British government as an intern. Started off, and I saw the excitement that communications could bring.
Okay.
And I actually started my career as an intern, as I say, actually cutting out newspaper articles, getting plip sticks, and then faxing it to ministers. This is probably something unheard of in today's age.
Wow. Wait, so I understand that you were the youngest British government spokesperson ever at 21.
Yes, exactly. Officially.
Officially.
So the British government has an organisation named the GCS, Government Communication Service.
I see.
And because I did an intern for 1 year and then they let me work for 1 year, my final year, I qualified for 2 years experience. So I became a press officer stroke spokesman at the age of 21.
That's incredible. What was it like? That must have been crazy.
It was fun. I spent 12 years in the British government across different mandates.
I see.
It was interesting. Sometimes we sleepwalked into our own problems. The media in the UK is very different to in the region, but it was interesting. And I only left the British government because I wanted an international career, which Edelman offered me.
I see. Okay, so you went from British government to Edelman.
Yes, because they found out I was born and raised in Saudi. So they were like, you can open up our Saudi office. So I did that for 5 years. And I still have family there. And despite this accent, I call myself Arab. I'm very proud of it.
Okay, cool. So I understand that you left Edelman and came back as CEO.
A boomerang is a thing.
Boomerang is
There's
the word.
12 of us in this business which have left, seen the grass isn't always green on the other side, and wanted to come back. Yeah. Yeah. So I left to go to a Saudi family business that owned an automotive company and then diversified. But the lure of Edelman and being able to be responsible for the region was too much for me. So I came back 3 years ago last week.
Wow. Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
3 years ago. Wow. 3 years as a whole CEO. That's
Then
insane.
I was 37 when I became CEO.
Hold on, let's count. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, cool. So what kind of really crazy or weird client requests have you had in PR?
I've had plenty, and there's been plenty of experiences which actually makes career in comms really interesting.
Okay.
So I've walked into ministerial meetings where the minister's banging their head on the table, or they are asking to borrow my tie because they're going to an important meeting and they forgot it. They just
You give them your
they're the minister, right? So you've got to do it.
It's take my shoes.
Yeah. And I think because communications is constantly evolving, and I've never sat on my laurels, so I've got 20 years communications experience, but I'm constantly learning. And one of my mandates is to always hire people better than me, like you. One, to kind of professionalize the industry, but two, making sure that we've always got the right people and we're always socializing skill sets. So I'm a big fan of things like mentoring. I mentor a journalist, an intern from our business, an entrepreneur, as well as a government advisor. And I encourage other people to do mentoring. And that's why it's exciting. It's like you're constantly learning and evolving and helping people.
Right. No, I completely see where you're coming from. I feel like something that this agency that differentiates Edelman from other agencies is just how much you invest in your people. I haven't seen that in other agencies as much, to be honest. Whether it's internship programs that are much more hands-on, whether it's you taking the time to even the way you give feedback is so important. I feel like Edelman does it differently than other agencies.
And it goes back down to the start of my career. I started off as an intern.
Right.
So I've had literally people shouting at my face, and I'm like, I'm never going to be that boss. Or that
Yeah,
guy.
you learn from the ones that were the worst.
Yeah, exactly. And then you lead by example. So if I come in, sit in my office, and don't talk to anyone, then that is going to create a culture.
Yeah.
But I wanted to create a culture where everyone is collegiate, supportive, responsible as well.
Right.
And that's what we've got now. We've got a team which I've built that are all leading by example.
Wonderful. Okay. So, what is your association or your affiliation with MEPRA exactly?
Edelman has been a member of METRA for a number of years. There are alumni on the board.
Okay.
I know that METRA is an important organisation for the industry in the region, and that's only a good thing, because I know they do a focus, or there's loads of focus on trainings, insights as an industry professional body, actually professionalising the sort of the industry. And it's also an opportunity to bring people together. And there is another industry body which I'm part of as well, the PRCA, and it's all about winning and rising together. And MEPRA and both PRCA do that.
Shout out to MEPRA and PRCA. That was for you. Okay, so my next question, we're gonna get a little bit deeper. So, can you talk to me about one or some of the main kind of challenges you've experienced in PR, not necessarily as a CEO, but just what you've witnessed in the industry in the Middle East, and how did you overcome those?
So, I think there are 2 points which come to mind here. Is communications isn't a 9 to 5 job. It's not like you come in, you turn your phone off, and leave your laptop, right? There's always something happening, especially in the Middle East, because there's global ambitions for our clients as well. So my advice to people wanting to get into the industry is be prepared to continue to learn, to grow, and commit to it. I think the other challenge in the Middle East, and this is us as senior people in the industry, is to constantly support young people enter the industry, find the talent, give them a platform, give them a chance. Because talent is ultimately what makes the industry. And if we give people a break, they will, 1, be advocates of your business, 2, be a mirror image of your sort of leadership. So there has to be a focus on talent in the region, giving people the opportunity to start their careers. The other challenge for the Middle East is unpacking it. So part of my job is constantly educating the rest of the industry and the network in terms that Abu Dhabi is very different to Dubai, which is very different to Riyadh. The language and Arabic language isn't uniform across the region. I'm quite passionate about the region, so I'm constantly educating people about actually the dynamics of it, the insights. I was on a call with a US client last night, and he actually thanked me at the end and said, like, I've never had a briefing like that. That was really rounded. You know what's happening in Qatar, the dynamics in Kuwait. So we're all advocates and ambassadors for the region, and we need to lead by example.
Very interesting. It didn't actually occur to me that working for the Middle East means that you actually advocate for Middle Eastern countries, companies. It's a very interesting take on it. That's cool. So what do you think, what do you see as the future or the next step for the PR industry?
I think the next step is it's going to constantly evolve. 20 years in this industry, it hasn't stood still. And we're adding new skill sets. We are playing in the advertising marketing space with the addition of creatives, digital strategists. And again, I see the work from there. And I think one of the other challenges for the industry, going back to your previous question, is to make sure that we're using those skill sets with traditional comms and creating integrated solutions for our clients and organizations, be it if you're client side, if you're agency side, or even government.
Yeah, I mean, we can't just rely on the usual traditional press release and churn out of content. It's much more than that. It's much bigger than that now. And it's so much more competitive too. If you don't have literally high quality work in every single aspect of what you offer, then
and that's what I'm really proud of. Is I spent 12 years client side with the government, 2 years client side at Saudi family business. But what I've done when I've come back to the business is make sure that we're actually creating tailored solutions for our clients. So it's not generic, there's a press release, that's the default position. It's let's really counsel what communication should be for them and what the opportunity would be. And that means that we have to become true advisors. And that sometimes means having hard conversations.
But no, I totally agree with you. We're not just there to to do branding or press releases. We're there to be an actual partner. We're there to help strategize. We're there to counsel. We want to be the first person that you want to call when you pick up the phone and you have a problem, right? It's not just about the day-to-day stuff. Okay, so my last question to you is, what is 1 or 2 really big pieces of advice for people that are trying to enter PR?
1, get a mentor.
Get a mentor? Okay.
The guy that gave me my break 20 years ago was a guy named James Peacock. He didn't need to allow me to be an intern in the British government. But to this day, I still turn to him for advice.
So he got you into the British government?
Yeah. I wrote an email to him saying, in my third year at university, I need to work. Please, can I spend it with you?
Okay.
Within 5 minutes, he wrote back saying, absolutely, you can come and spend some time with me personally.
Wow.
So that then started off my career, just because someone gave me that break. And that's what I want to do for people in our industry. Just give them that break. And then it's the platform or springboard for them to then grasp their own career.
I see.
So 1, get a mentor. 2, read the news every day.
Oh my
We
God.
are in the news business. And when clients call us, or stakeholders call us, or ministers call us, they expect us to be on top of our briefs. So every morning, I'm at my desk at 8, and I'm reading the business section of the national newspaper. That is my default position. Understand what's in the news. And then 3 is what I've just said, constantly evolve and learn. Like, you're not just, I know it all, and then...
Yeah. You can't rest on your laurels, like you said.
No, absolutely not. I'm CEO, I've got 20 years experience, but I'm still proud to say that I'm still learning and innovating.
Is there any final message you'd like to leave for the viewers of the episode?
No, this is great. You weren't as tough as I was expecting you to be.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm trying to make us all look good. But yeah, I just wanted to say, obviously, once again, this is Omar, and this is a very special segment of Around the Emirates coming out this Saturday. As you guys know, there's a new episode out every other Saturday. I'm on Instagram, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. So please feel free to leave your comments below. Let me know if you want to be on the show. And of course, you can find all the information in the link in bio. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.